So what do? Well, we look at the whole person. We look at the brain. We look at the peripheral nervous system, the central nervous system, and not only make sure all the parts are there, like the MRIs and the X-rays and the CAT scans that you've got, but we look at the function of the nervous system. Remember that all pain, numbing, tingling, all of those things are sensed and perceived up here in the brain. So brain-based therapy looks like this. We have this area here, the cerebrum. And pretty much everybody knows that's the cerebrum, the higher centers of the brain. The right side over here crosses over and controls and perceives and controls the body, perceives pain and controls the body on the opposite side. This side of the brain crosses over and controls that side of the body. With the cerebellum, which we also call our reptilian or our primitive brain, that's the brain that controls all of the regulatory body functions, from heartbeat to balance to fine motor coordination to different things that manage and run your body. With things in nature, stresses can actually overcome the brain's ability to adapt to those things and can become injured. How do these things happen? Through chemical stresses. I recently had somebody who was in a field, a plane was flying really low. She looked up and said, "What is that?" and got sprayed with chemicals they were spraying in the field. Wow, that was a major injury to her nervous system. The other stresses are physical stresses, which we most commonly think of. Physical stresses like you might have been in a car accident, a slip, a trip, a fall, bad posture sitting at a computer. Another one that's very common that can injure the brain and therefore the body is emotional stresses. I just had somebody come in today who told me that had a very close member of her family die in a terrible accident. Well, these stresses put stresses and cause injury to the brain, and these sort of traumas combined or even all alone will cause a decrease in the brain's frequency of firing, not activating the brain properly. When that happens, we're going to have asymmetries or imbalances with how the brain is working, and that's what can lead to the conditions that I have people coming to me for. Back to my notes, I'm going to read the notes. Conditions successfully treated for brain-based therapy: chronic back pain, insomnia, lack of sleep, chronic neck pain, restless leg syndrome, chronic sciatica, leg pain, hand, foot pain, numbness, spinal stenosis, migraine, chronic headaches, failed back surgery, we can help out with that, chronic shoulder, arm pain, tingling, numbness, burning, balance disorders, dizziness, fibromyalgia, tinnitus, which is ringing in the ears, tremor problems, carpal tunnel syndrome, stroke rehabilitation, peripheral or diabetic neuropathies, other types of neuropathies, MS, chronic fatigue syndrome, ADD, ADHD. These are all brain conditions and can be helped with brain-based therapy. So now you might be wondering, well, gee, how can this brain-based therapy help me out? How does he know if I'm a candidate? That's the purpose of day one. You're going to come in, we're going to need to do a thorough neurological exam. The purpose of the neurological exam is to measure one side of the brain, the cerebellum, the cerebrum, to see how one side is functioning compared to the other. We will do computerized testing. In just a minute we'll go into the exam room and I'll show you what the surface EMG is all about and what the infrared thermography is all about. So we'll go ahead and test the muscle system. We'll test the nervous system, the function of that, through computerized testing and through examination. We will need to do a very detailed, comprehensive health history. I'm telling you now, because with this link or with this DVD, you will be receiving 3 or 4 forms. One of them is the neurological assessment form. Fill it out in as accurate detail as you possibly can. That's going to start pointing to me, just based on how you fill that out, where areas are having trouble in your brain and how it's affecting you. The metabolic assessment form. This is going to be telling us how the metabolism's working, the hormone system, the blood, if there's any autoimmune disorders. These sort of things are going to be very necessary to your condition because, for example, if there is a gluten sensitivity, if there's a peanut allergies, things like this, that can cause back pain, that can cause neck pain. And instead of just treating your neck pain, what if it's caused from one of these sensitivities? We need to know that, or you're going to keep coming in back and back again and back again and back again like you've already been doing. So we need to get to the root of it. And then After day 1, which we do the comprehensive examination, we will do a detailed report of findings. Every stone, there will be no stone that won't be unturned. We will look under every stone to figure out exactly what's going on. Part of the recommendation is going to be possibly working with other doctors. I have medical doctors, acupuncturists, and other practitioners who we work integratively with, and that's another thing that makes us different. So we may need you to help, we may need help from other practitioners to get your case fully corrected. Okay, so we're going to need you to bring in all of your x-rays, MRIs, any blood labs, say a year or sooner. If you have any blood labs, x-rays, if you can't get a hold of your narratives, and again, if they're x-rays or MRIs, if they're 5 years, 6 years old, get them if you can, do the best you can. If you can't get those, you may have a paper narrative. A narrative is what the radiologist had written about that. Anything like that would be helpful. Just gather the best that you can, get what you can, and bring that in. Also, make sure you fill out the attached neural assessment form and the metabolic assessment form and the other form there. There's 2 other forms there. I know it's a lot of pages, but this is going to give me the information necessary to finally put this problem to rest, or at least get this problem figured out, so that together with the other doctors, the other practitioners, we can finally work together and work on a solution to this, like I said, with that exit strategy. So the brain-based therapy, again, is to help integrate and heal your brain, and when we do that, we can heal your body. Some of the things that we'll do is we'll provide, in addition to the therapies that we do, I'll provide homework. That's determined on day 1, day 2, as we continue to go. Homework is at-home exercises, just like at physical therapy. If they notice that you have a weakened bicep because it's been in a cast from that broken bone, your bicep gets weak on this side, what do? They'll actually give you exercises like this and all different kinds of exercises, and with that resistance and stimulation to that muscle, you can actually get the muscle to regrow. With neuroplasticity, that big long word again, with neuroplasticity, what we said earlier is that we can actually get the brain to regrow. We can actually lay down new neurons, new fibers. That's neuroplasticity. And with brain-based therapy, that's exactly what we're doing. So I thought it would be interesting. We'll go ahead and reset up over here, where we're going to show you a few of the brain-based therapies that we utilize to help get these results. Okay, so here we are over in the brain-based therapy area. For some of our patients who have chronic lower back pain, maybe with sciatica, peripheral neuropathy, that's a numb tingling that goes into the extremities, the legs, a herniated disc, a bulge disc. We could actually flip the patient around. We could do cervical or neck problems, neck injuries, degenerative joint conditions. These chronic conditions respond really well to spinal decompression. So I'll get myself out of the way. We have our lovely Alex on the table here, and what we're doing is demonstrating what spinal decompression would look like. It's computerized. It pulls, gently pulls on the lower back. It looks like this for the model. This is what a normal vertebra would look like, with a vertebra here, and disc in between. Should I come a little closer? And we have the nerves that come out right there. So these nerves are the ones that go to your back, and they go down your leg. The infamous sciatic nerve comes out the lower part of the back. If we have a trauma, and over a long period of time we degenerate or wear out the vertebrae in the lower back, in this example, or the neck, or we have a herniated or bulging disc, well, you can see that that's going to make this hole here, called the foramina, that's going to make that smaller. And that's going to irritate the nerve. The very nerve that it's supposed to be protecting is going to be irritated. And that's what a chronic degenerating disc will look like. It's just like that. So spinal decompression will pull at up to 50 pounds of pressure, very little amount of pressure. It pulls it apart like this, holds it for 45 seconds, and then it releases for 15. Pulls apart, releases for 15. The idea with this is it creates a pumping action between the vertebra above and the vertebra below. Very gentle. Most people on the table don't even notice that it's going on at all. And that's the idea. But with this pumping action, we create a negative vacuum, and that can actually help to pull a herniated disc back in. A lot of research been done on that, but I get great results with spinal decompression. You'll notice that Alex also has this little tube right here. What this tube does, it connects to oxygen concentrators. And with oxygen concentrators, it's 94% oxygen. What that does, it delivers a steady stream of 94% concentrated oxygen into her bloodstream, which goes to the disc, which is what the disc needs. It goes to the brain, brain-based therapy. It floods, it saturates the brain and the disc with the very fuel that's needed. So oxygen therapy. Here's what the oxygen concentrator looks like, and we have two of them. We can actually link them together right here. We can get up to 10 liters per minute of 94% oxygen concentration. So how do we know if you need oxygen? Well, chances are if you have a chronic condition, you're probably needing oxygen, but we don't just rely on probablys. We want to measure it. I don't know if you can see that right here. This is called a pulse ox, and it's measuring the amount of oxygen that's getting all the way out to my fingertip here. And this is one of the exams that we do. We should see 97% or higher, and I notice that I'm at 97%, so that's good. If we run your oxygen and we see that you're coming in at 96 or lower, and we also want to check right side compared to the left side, then we're going to know that this person could really benefit from oxygen. So that's how we make the determination. We test it. And the thing with oxygen is so safe, but also so necessary. Getting that oxygen flooding into your nervous system will really add fuel to the healing process. The other thing that we can do for brain-based therapy, it works really well, just a different way of stimulating the weakened areas of the brain or the cerebellum. As somebody is here breathing in oxygen, they're either going to be on the spinal decompression, or they might be sitting at a chair that's right here, activating their brain. Sorry, cameraman. They're going to be activating their brain by going around and around and around on the upper body ergometer. And in doing this, that really activates the brain, but that might not be enough. For some folks, we want to put their feet right here on the vibration machine. And in doing so, in the examination, we may choose to put your left foot on this as compared to the right foot that we'd leave off. Why would that be? Well, if the left cerebellum, remember left side body stimulates left cerebellum and it crosses over to the cerebrum, then we put your left foot here to stimulate the side that we want to stimulate. There's a whole host of other things, from olfactory stimulation. We might have you breathe oil of oregano in one nostril and not the other. That's another way of stimulating a different area of the brain. We could do warm ear calorics. These are a brain-based therapy that stimulates a different area of the brain. In just a moment, we'll now shift to the examination room, and I'll demonstrate the exams for you, and we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Okay, so now we're in the exam room, and we're going to cover exactly what some of the tests are to determine if you have a brain-based therapy case that we're going to be able to help out with. So I put this on right here to remind myself to say that we do blood pressure as well. And what's more important than just blood pressure for the cardiovascular reasons, the heart reasons, we're going to test left side, right side, and we're going to test left side. And the reason we want to test both sides is to see how well the nervous system is controlling the heart system, because they are connected. Some of the other things that we're going to test, we'll get to that in a second. Some of the other things we're going to test is, as I said, the cerebellum and the hemispheres of the brain. So we'll run functional neurology tests. Some of them might look like this. I'll have you close your eyes, testing for balance. We're looking for sway. We're looking for how well you're able to coordinate your extremities. We're going to look for what we call supination and pronation. We'll know somebody's way off if they do this and this on this side, and maybe they wave to me here and they do this on that side. Other tests to test the cerebellum, I'll have you put one hand up, reach up and touch it with the other. A lot of my people with fibromyalgia and peripheral neuropathy and other really bad neurological problems, they will miss like this and swear that they're looking right at it, and they're like, wow, what's going on? That's a disconnect between brain and body. That's looking like a brain-based issue. That's how you know if you're a brain-based candidate or not. So we'll run those neurological tests as well. Again, we'll go over all your entire case history. If you could please fill out those forms and either fax it back, drop it off, mail it in, or email it back if you can do that. I'll begin going over those, and we'll have your appointment in 2 to 3 days from now. or as soon as you can get in. On day one, I will, if you could please remember to bring in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt, then we can get you prepared for our examination. We also have gowns here too if you forget, so don't worry, but if you could try and do that, that would be great. After that, I'll need another few days to go over everything that you've had, to discuss it with your doctor or our integrative practitioners here, and then we will put together a detailed and comprehensive treatment plan specifically tailor-made for you. On that day, I do request that your spouse or anybody else in your life who helps you to make decisions about your life will be here with you, because it's going to be that important. And my goal again is to change your life. It's to maximize your body's performance and to create an exit strategy. So in short, that's brain-based therapy. That's how we're going to be able to help you out. I look forward to seeing you very shortly. And if you have any questions, feel free to give my staff a call. Our number is 434-977-5433. You should have either received this in the mail or through a link in your email. Shoot us an email back. You can always reach me at drbrian@chiroprax.com. We'll put it on the screen right there for you. And I look forward to meeting you and helping you reinvent your life.